That's what they telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what they telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, baby, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. Swing on me, gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up? Swing on me, gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. But she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Blue left. You don't want to change from the 4-3-3.
Boom, 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 boom. What's going on, people? We are back again on the Dre James Show. What's going on, people? We're back again on the Dre James Show for another tactics board, guys. This time, Liverpool dismantling Bournemouth in a second half. Clinical performance. That's no two ways about it. There weren't any thrills. There weren't fantastic football, but we showed our clinical edge. And hey, we're sitting, 5 points top of the table. And just as someone in the comments asked me to go and sing, I'm going to sing for you guys. So Liverpool, top of the league. Liverpool, top of the league. That's what you're going to get from me today. But big up to everyone. Hope you're having a great Monday. Hope your weekend was fantastic. Obviously topped off with that, late afternoon, obviously victory for Liverpool as well. Guys, make sure we are smashing the like on the video. It's over 20 people in the building already waiting for me. I'm so appreciative of that. Please make sure you're smashing a like. If you're new to the channel and you do like the content, hit the subscribe button just here. It should be somewhere there. And if it isn't, ask someone to help you find it. Ask someone to help you locate it. I know there's pure people in the comments waiting for obviously us to get into it. But listen, 5-star performances from a few players, man, from back to front. Really good second half performance. And Liverpool again proving that, we can have a poor start, a poor first half, if we're being honest. Klopp alluded to it. But the tactical changes we can make, the mentality we have to keep going into wear teams down, ultimately, obviously, cream rises to the top, quality rises to the top. And that's what we're able to obviously go and do at the Vitality Stadium. So, guys, make sure we are smashing a like on the video. Big up to everyone in the building. I'm going to get to the people in the chat right now as well. 2 seconds. Let's get into it. I need to salute everyone in the building, man. Big up to Keep It Level saying, yes, JJ, big up, mate. Hope you're having a good day, bro. So far, dropped an early like on entry for you. I appreciate Keep It Level. There, you're setting the standards. You're setting the standard. That's what it is, man. There we go. Keep It Level screaming. Liverpool, top of the league. Liverpool, top of the league. We've got Red for Life in the building as well. Big up to yourself. We've got Gary Richards in the building as well saying, Talio, JJ, 2 hands on haters' throat. 4-0 light lunch on the South Coast. A very light lunch, man. Listen, I'm still starving for more, bro. I'm still starving for more. Big up to Ends in the building as well. We've got Honesty in the building as well saying, we in the building. Big up JJ in the chat. Big up to yourself. We've got Rob Stewart in the building. Excited to see me. Jerry J, what's going on? We've got RJ in the building as well. I Keep It Level saying, no transfer links to post in the chat. Honesty, yeah. Honesty, become the guy. He's the ITK. Honestly, let me know if you want an account, if you want a Twitter, a Twitter feed where you can go and get to us with all that news, because you seem to be an ITK. Let me know. We can set you up, man. We can set you up on a channel. Big up to obviously G in the building as well, saying, Jerry, when is the preseason sesh? The preseason sesh is coming, man. Listen, shout out to the people that come to Sinker and that. But yeah, we're gonna make that. We're gonna make that a reality, and that's going to be a baller session. So let me know if you're involved. Big up to Fritz as well, saying Mac Allister had his best performance. Listen, I'm not the biggest Mac Allister fan. You guys know I get onto him. I get onto this guy. I think he can offer more. I don't think he offers a lot to us in that game, though. Boy, now I was wrong. I'm not going to lie. I was wrong. Speaking on that game, though, Kingdom saying big up Jay. Considering other teams' wins, were big statements. What does it make our win? Surely we must be taken serious now. I'll get onto that. I'm actually going to start that one because I think that's something we can obviously definitely discuss. We've got Jin Kazama in the building saying FFP has everyone shook. RJ asking where's Thiago? So a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions. We've got some early transfer news from Honesty. I'm just going to run through it quickly as we're here. Calvin Ramsey saying, obviously Honesty saying Calvin Ramsey is attracting loan interest from the Championship, with Leeds United said to be monitoring. Lewis is expected to stay at Liverpool this winter despite loan interest from the Championship. We've got Honesty saying Jayden Danns is expected to sign a new long-term contract. Who the hell is Jayden Danns? This is why Honesty the guy. Big up to yourself. But anyway, let's get straight into it. Big up to promo in the building as well before I stop into it. Hope you're doing well, JJ. Great result. I told the people we are more of a team without Salah. 100%. That's something we can definitely discuss. Big up to Angel at 68 saying Thiago maybe February, but I'm not believing it. Big up to Angel in the building as always as well. Make sure you're smashing it. The likes, guys. But look, without further ado, let's get into it. Liverpool managed to dismantle Bournemouth as discussed. Goals from obviously Diogo Jota with 2 and Darwin Núñez with 2. Yes, I repeat. Darwin Núñez, Mr. Núñez, the Uruguayan Pantera, whatever people want to go and call him, managed to get obviously 2 goals in that game. And look, we cruised at the end of that game, man. We were able to go and cruise and really prove that even without the likes of Trent, with injuries to obviously Salah now has come back from AFCON, but obviously not being involved in the squad. Matip, Thiago's still not available. Bajcetic been a massive, obviously, miss, and he was a big part of what we were able to do on the back end of last season. We're still able to go and put together performances, and not necessarily performances, because I don't think the performances as a whole was fantastic in that game, but our ability to go and be very clinical in decisive moments, stay in games even when we're performing poorly, and just as Klopp said in his post-match presser, luckily we're not a goal down, we're not losing a game, even though it was a poor performance. And let's just be real, that first half wasn't good enough for what Liverpool wanted to go and do. We weren't able to go in, I think from a tactical standpoint, we weren't able to go and execute what Klopp wanted and what we kind of usually want to go and do. That may have been due to personnel being missing as well, not having the confidence to step into certain zones, step into certain areas. But in general, Klopp kind of alluded to the fact that, we passed when we should have gone direct. We went direct when we should have passed. And overall, it looked a very, very disjointed performance. And let's give credit to Bournemouth. Bournemouth started really, really well. They're a team in top form. I didn't get to allude to it in my preview, guys. You guys know my preview was an absolute mess. It was an absolute chaotic mess. But I'm looking at obviously at this Bournemouth team. I'm like, okay, Solanke can go and score goals. They've got the likes of Sinisterra. They've got Cook, who I really, really like in midfield. I think he's a really, really good midfielder. They've got obviously Scott on the bench. Tavernier, that's kind of changed his role a bit, but still a decent player. And they've got, a keeper that I really like in Neto, and then obviously Zabrani as well, the centre back alongside Max Aarons as well on that right hand side. So they are a decent team, and look, they've obviously gone on from strength to strength. Having a striker that's third in the top in the goal scoring charts means that they are a team that are going to get forward. However, Liverpool are usually a team that struggle with when teams sit back. So it was very kind of not worrying, but it was very kind of frustrating that we weren't able to make most of the chances in the spaces that Bournemouth were leaving in behind, even though they went and obviously reverted to a back 3, which obviously I'll go and show you because I've got my tactics board ready for you guys and loaded, and we're going to obviously get into how the game tactically panned out. But, we started with Darwin Núñez playing down obviously on the left, which a lot of us wanted. Klopp alluded to the fact that he thought that was the right decision. I thought it was the right decision. A lot of people would have said, yeah, Darwin Núñez can't play down the middle, or he's not really as effective down the middle. Play him on the left, get him away from, build-up play. Having Jota down the middle, Jota the shotter, the one that we know can finish, is great. And then Diaz has had some of his best performances in recent weeks playing off the right as well. So that was definitely a position where, and a setup that we really liked. Of course, in midfield, Gravenberch has been a bit hot and cold, has been off form. So the midfield wasn't a surprise. We had Mac Allister sitting at the base. Curtis Jones are probably our best midfielder this season, playing off the left in his usual position. That he's been able to secure. And Elliott obviously was coming into the team playing in the right centre mid position, who's been a decent obviously player for us. And then looking at the back, we knew Joe Gomez was obviously going to play at left back due to the injuries of Tsimikas and Robertson that are hopefully back this next month. Fingers crossed. We had obviously at the back, we had the partnership of Virgil van Dijk and Konate, very, very imperious. And then at right back, obviously a Premier League debut for Bradley. And that was really going to be the area where I was looking at thinking, okay, they're going to target that area. On the midfield as well, we did seem a bit lightweight, and it was a game that was quite nervy. It was a game where it could have been a banana skin. The pundits were talking about this being a game where Liverpool just need to get the 3 points. And if we're being honest, that first half kind of really, really replicated it. They had the majority of the chances. If we go back to, I think, about the 20th minute or so, they had a real good combination down the left-hand side with Sinisterra, the Colombian that was able to get down the byline. and put a crossing and smash a crossing across the box that obviously no one was there to meet. And these were obviously half chances or so, but because no one really got on the end of them. But there were good chances. There were top chances that, if they had a strike in the right area, I mean, it would have been a goal. Like, the goal was gaping, and there were a lot of early warning signs, and we couldn't transition, up the pitch correctly, and we weren't able to do that effectively. And I think going into obviously half time, we were lucky not to be a goal down. If I'm being very, very kind of honest, that they weren't. We're much better than Bournemouth, but if they had, a bit more quality with that end product in Clive smashing the ball across the box, or Sinisterra being able to obviously get past his man or put in a better end product, we may have been in a bit more trouble. I think obviously Virgil van Dijk and Konate really done well with Solanke. Solanke actually pulling over to Virgil van Dijk more often than not, which is really showing the kind of the levels that Konate is setting right now from a defensive standpoint. And it was difficult for them. And in the second half, of course, we changed. Saw that it wasn't working. I don't think we were able to really dominate in the midfield where I think we wanted to go and see. We obviously changed, put Nunes back obviously in the middle. I don't think it was working with him outside. He couldn't beat his man on the outside, struggling to hold up the ball as well. So it wasn't a great half for him, and it looked like something we had seen before. He moves over obviously back into the centre. We put Diaz back on his left side. And we actually played Jota off the right. And that, for me, was a really, really good stroke of genius, because what that enabled Liverpool to go and do is use Jota as a Salah, but a right-footed Salah in terms of his out-to-in movements, not necessarily needing to go and have the ball or get involved in play from a deeper sense, and can kind of do the stereotypical Salah role, which is off-the-ball movement when we had Mane, balls in from that side and getting finishes, or being obviously just getting into the box. And that really enabled us to start to stretch the team. I think there was an onus on us to go a bit more direct. If we go to our first goal that we're able to go and score, obviously Jones was playing very, very deep in that first half. And we're going to get into it in more depth before I get into obviously the stats of the game. But playing really, really, really deep. He then, in that second half, due to a tactical change, which I'll discuss, was able to get forward a bit more. A ball over the top, straight into his chest. He sets Jota. Jota plays the first time ball across the box. Darwin Nunes gets in the box, and straight away we've got a runner that's making runs off the ball, which obviously is Darwin Nunes. Jota is able to obviously exploit the space and to make a supporting run. And Jones that actually becomes a focal point and acts like a target man in that role, which was actually quite ingenious when you think about it. But it's very kind of non-league, very kind of championship, where we've had to go direct and using the kind of elements to our advantage in that situation as well. And then from there, once the first goal comes, we're able to obviously break down teams goal by goal by goal, and we end up scoring 4. A good finish from Darwin Nunes for the first one. A bit lucky with the second one, because I think it was just going off, but it just going out or came off the post and went in. But again, good finish. Jota proving his clinical edge. And look, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the stats, but hey, we're going to get into we're going to see what you guys are saying now before I get obviously all the stats up. And so big up to LFCJ. LFCJ is letting me know that Jaden is an under-18 player who cooked Arsenal in the FA Cup 7-1 win over the weekend. Okay, appreciate you letting me know. I didn't even know. Salah wants to stay with Egypt. Apparently, this is what End is saying. Big up to Bajan in the building as well. Big up to Keep It Level saying, that on Mic'd Up show on Sky, do you think there should be fan representation from each club who can ask questions to Webb and Owen, because Webb doesn't get pressed enough for me? Maybe so, but I think they don't want him to get pressed. I think he just decline it. I don't think there's a reason that there's a necessity for him to go and do it. There's not a law for him to do it. So he doesn't want to be pressed. He's just trying to be the representative of the refs in that regard. And big up to Rocco Mancini saying, another masterclass from Klopp. Definitely the best manager in the Prem. Imagine what you could have done with the finest as Pep got. I mean, we discussed this before. I think there's a lot of obviously pros and cons to that argument, but obviously we never know. What are we getting here? Big up to Roach Reese saying, what's up, Jerry? I must say I'm holding the most this season. The football has been stinky, no lie, but we keep getting those wins. Love that we are winning and the team are proving me wrong. I agree. I agree to a certain extent with that. I agree. Big up to Red Scout saying, how can Salah let anyone down when he's injured? If he needs to fly back, he will have to. Plain and simple. We are Liverpool. They pay the wages. I hear what you're saying. Angel at 68 saying Jerry Bournemouth should have been reduced to 10 men and the ref of our report. It needs to be a solution. I mean, look, in regards to the VIO decision, I think that's something obviously we need to touch over. I personally, in an isolated incident, don't think it's a red. The same way I don't think the Jones one was a red. The same way I don't think the Jota yellow card, the second yellow card, was a red as well in that game. I don't think in a situation like that, in a contact sport in football where players are trying to get the ball, there's always a risk of going and stepping on someone's ankle. You cannot eliminate that from football. Like, you cannot eliminate that from football unless you go and say, you know what I mean, no contact after a certain period of time at all. Football, there's contact off the ball, on the ball. It's all illegal. It's a contact sport. Therefore, I don't think it was necessarily a red card. However, there's obviously seems to be a line of inconsistency with the decisions that the refs are making, and I think that's what's frustrating fans more than anything. I think what the refs are trying to do is they are judging on what they do. They'll make a decision, and due to public kind of concern or distress about a certain situation, or kind of disapproval of a certain decision that's been made by a referee, the next refs after that judge the incident differently. So, for instance, if there was a situation where someone crossed the ball in and a centre back, it came off a centre back's thigh and hit his hand, right? Some people would argue it's a penalty. Others would say it's not because it's come off the hand. One referee, so let's say referee A, will say, yes, that wasn't a penalty. It came off his thigh. What happens then is that on Twitter, fans in the ground, the discourse surrounding that decision becomes, he made the wrong decision. We need to get Howard Webb in. He's made the wrong decision, yada, 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 because it came off his thigh. They use examples from last season saying, last season this happened to us, and so forth. What we then see like emerge from this is referee B refereeing the next game in the following weeks, sees that same situation. And of course, it won't be the same because it's obviously always context. But there'll be another situation where the player might be 5 yards closer. It comes off the thigh and hits his hand, and he gives us penalty. And he gives a penalty to a team that's, you know, an Everton team or a Forest that are winning the game 1-0. Do you know what I mean? And or losing the game 1-0, and he gives it to them, and they could have had a penalty, or they get a penalty, and the team is now aggrieved. I think that's where the issues are. For me, when you look at football, you can't make the right decision all the time. I think VAR is there to be in place, but VAR it shouldn't rectify or change the referee's decision. It should be an aid for the referee that's on the pitch. Now, how can we get more consistency? I think there needs to be stronger lines or firmer lines in regards to what is, as an example, what is a handball, what isn't, what is a foul, what isn't. But football's not like that, and I think it's difficult to go and implement. So, look, if you compare it to what happened with Jones, yes, it should have definitely been a red card. Do I think that challenged a yellow card in isolation? No, I don't think so. But hey, I definitely hear what you guys are saying. Guys, make sure obviously we're smashing a like, as RJ is saying as well. Big up to yourself. We've got Red Scout here saying, look, it's a yeah, at least, Jerry, it was dangerous. Yeah, I think it should have been a yellow, 100%. I think it should have been a yellow. But many things are dangerous. Going up for a header, a diving header is dangerous. Like going and running, there's many things. Going for a slide tackle and winning the ball can be dangerous. It's just that you executed it. There was no malice in what Clivert did. He didn't lead with an elbow. It wasn't endangering a player on purpose. This was a situation where he'd been pushed by Mac Allister and he's landed on the player's foot. Now, I go back to the situation with Liverpool. When Jones was in that situation, a lot of us were saying that it wasn't a pen. So we've got to keep the same energy. We can't go and have this kind of tribalism in our mindsets when we're discussing whether something's a foul or not. We need to be objective, because otherwise, otherwise the consistency can't be there. If you want to be consistent, or you want the referees to be consistent, your views on certain things need to be consistent as well. So if you think that should have been a red card, fair, then you should also accept that the Jones one was a red card as well. So if it happens again, you can't have any qualms about, oh, but it was unfair, but it was this, but it was that. You need to obviously be able to make sure you can obviously let the people know very, very firmly. Yeah, big up to everyone in the building, guys. Make sure we are smashing the like. Big up to LFC Ryan in the building. Big up to Panel Scouts in the building as well. We've got KLFC as well in the building. Guys, make sure we're smashing the likes, man. We've got over 40 people in the building. Make sure we're smashing the like. And look, let's just get into the stats straight off the bat. So, can I actually move this? Can I move this? Oh, I can't. All right, cool. No worries. So, of course, we can go and see we are in the building. We've obviously got the stats of the game. Liverpool stats on the right-hand side. Bournemouth stats are on the left, as we can see here. 11 shots for, obviously, Bournemouth. 1 on target, with Liverpool having 14 shots, 7 of those on target. So a 50% ratio in terms of shots taken and being on target. That's really, really, really good. Big chances. And again, this is what I talk about. In that first half, Bournemouth created 2 big chances, and it's actually two big chances to Liverpool's 2. And when you think about the types of finishes that we had, some of them were like ridiculous finishes where they weren't chances. I mean, the Nunes one, when the ball's come into him and he's kind of just connected with it, that's a half chance. He's really been able to go and convert. His first chance, of course, the slotted in, that's a big chance. He was able to go and slot it away. But we didn't create big chances, but had a lot of shots and started to dominate, especially in that second half. I think that's where a lot of our shots came from, especially ones on target. Look at passes completed, and look, Bournemouth completed 235 passes. We completed 439. When you look at our passes in the attacking third, obviously, we completed 112 passes in the attacking third to their 75. In terms of take-ons, they had 39 take-ons, so really trying to beat us in transition when we lost the ball. And that was obviously going to be their game plan as well, and they couldn't really match the intensity. 24 take-ons for Liverpool, 18 crosses for Bournemouth, 16 for Liverpool, 35 tackles for Bournemouth with 50 for Liverpool, 14 interceptions for Bournemouth as well, 8 for Liverpool with 12 fouls coming out of obviously those tackles, and 9 for Bournemouth. So again, really, really proving that, you know, in terms of obviously goals, stats, interceptions, pressures, we were really, really, really intense, and our intensity is actually that helped us get through that game. Before obviously I get into obviously what we did statistically and stuff, I wanted to obviously look at a few players and look at their stats and analyze how well they did. And the first person I'm going to start with is our number 10, Mac Allister. Now, people know on this channel, if you're watching this regularly, I'm not the biggest fan of Mac Allister at all. Not because I don't necessarily rate him as a player. I really like his profile, but I thought he would have offered more to what the Liverpool system offered. I think, as a great example, I know Thiago never played in the 6, but when Thiago's played deeper, he's offered a different dynamic to what Liverpool have. Mac Allister hasn't been able to go and do that until this game for me. And I think this game really represented, you know, the fact that he's starting to find his identity in the Liverpool team. I think he's starting to understand his role. And the fact that, you know, the likes of Trent not being in the team, not having a Thiago, Szoboszlai not being in the team, a lot of onus is put onto him from a creative aspect. And it was from obviously onto him. That's a Curtis Jones and Elliot and Mac Allister more so, to be that creative force, from playing the pass to the assist to actually playing the assist. There was a bigger onus, a bigger emphasis on them to be able to go and provide. And I was really looking at this game thinking, is he going to be able to go and do it? Now, first 5 minutes, I didn't really like the way he started. I think it was quite slow. Didn't really dictate the tempo the way which I wanted to. However, he really grew into the game. And I think by the end of that first half, he was easily Liverpool's best player in that first half. For a half that was quite poor. He tried to get shots off. He tried to play reverse through balls in behind the back line. Really starting to understand his role, especially in that 6, especially when we're on the ball. Won the ball really high up as well when we needed to as well, and kind of maintain that pressure and that intensity that we kind of associate with Liverpool with having. The first one I obviously want to go and look at is we go and look at passing, man. And I always like to start from the back. Now, you can see here, look, Konate, you can see here, usually are the players that pass the most or get on the ball the most would be a centre-back. It would be the person that plays in the DM, so Mac Allister or an Endo, and it would be Trent Alexander-Arnold, very, very high up. We know the ball goes to Trent at every opportunity when we can see it. Mac Allister, you can see here, and Curtis Jones, more of an emphasis to go and get on the ball. Now, I highlight Curtis Jones because I'm going to discuss that later on in about 10 minutes or so. Curtis Jones was coming really, really deep in that first half, really deep, you know, keeping the ball ticking over, but when turning, having too much of a gap to run into, not really being able to link the midfield with the attack. Mac Allister, you can see here, 63 completed passes out of 72. Very, very, very high percentage. Again, Jones, when you talk about efficiency on the ball, he doesn't give the ball away. Look, 49 passes completed out of 52 attempted. That is an incredible stat. But you can see him, Mac Allister, really topping obviously those charts as well. We go and move on and we look at, that chances created. And this is the next thing that we move on to. And this is where obviously Mac Allister really came into his own. Now, Mac Allister usually isn't in these stats because of the emphasis on Szoboszlai to go and create chances. We have Trent in the team to create chances. We have Salah in the team to create chances. In this game, it had to be on Darwin. On Mac Allister. And you can see Darwin obviously creating chances by getting in and around the box, obviously trying to put balls into the box. He obviously always causes chaos. But looking at Mac Allister topping the chance created list, usually we don't see that from Mac Allister. So again, really trying to go and make things happen. I think there was a great pass he went and played for Jota that we weren't able to capitalize in that first half. Before that, he'd done a really nice reverse ball where he won the ball and without looking, just smashed it like straight, like incisive pass through the middle, through the defense. Nunes tried to latch onto it, but wasn't able to get on there. And we really saw the beginnings of that in the first half, and you just went on from strength to strength in the second. We move on, man, and this is when it gets really interesting. We go and look at not shots at the moment. Sorry, I couldn't see you guys are zooming in. We go and look at tackles, and we talk about Mac Allister. Is he our DM? Can he be a DM? He's not a DM. Well, I'm here to tell you guys he is a DM. I've had enough of people trying to tell me, no, but he's an 8. No, but he's a 10. No, he's playing out of position. He's not playing out of position. This is his position, and this is the position that Klopp wants to go and play him in. Playing him out of position, you can't say he's playing out of position when we're going in top of the league. You have to look at it at one point and be like, actually, that's just your position. Gini Wijnaldum didn't come to us as an 8. He was an 8. Like, no one ever used, oh no, but he's a 10 or a left winger and he's playing in the 8 position. No one uses that argument with Alexis Mac Allister. With Harvey Elliott. No one uses that argument when it comes to Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones never played in the 8 for the academy. Only played out on the left, played behind the striker, even at times played up front. You're talking about a player that was very offensive. They are playing in different roles now. And I think we have to accept Mac Allister is going to be our DM, but we can see here, 9 tackles made, really getting about the pitch. Marcus Tavernier from a defensive standpoint was really good. Obviously, our midfield, you can see how hard our midfield was working alongside Connor Bradley as well, really trying to tackle as much as possible and being really efficient with it. Mac Allister was all over the pitch. 14 attempted tackles means that he was getting near enough around players and really being that focal point from obviously our attacking standpoint. And look, having more than double the amount of tackles of Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, it shows you that, look, he's getting these DM numbers. I think when we look at interceptions now, 3 interceptions more than any other player, include obviously in the Liverpool team, obviously tying with Ryan Christie, who played in a midfield role for Bournemouth and had a decent game as well. Again, top in the interceptions obviously chart. So in terms of interceptions, in terms of tackling, in terms of chances created, he is topped all of these metrics, man. All of these metrics, which is really interesting to see. And then we got to look at this. And this is what's really, I can discuss it. Foul suffered, suffering 3 fouls. So really being able to go and win fouls in the middle, obviously in the midfield area means that, look, he's proving to be a bit more press resistant than he has been in recent games. I think sometimes he holds onto the ball a bit too much and gets at times a bit lucky. You know what? That Endo's in that similar situation as well. They hold onto the ball for a bit too long, especially when they're chopping it and changing. I think them bouncing off into Virgil and trying to get on a half turn, I would prefer to go and see. But you can see there, being fouled 3 times, which is the most of any player on the pitch yesterday, suggests that, look, he knows what he's doing. And look, Klopp said that he's a very intelligent player. And if we can go and have a very compact and narrow team when we're defending, shifting from right to left, any player can really play in that position. And if you've got someone with the ability of Mac Allister, or the profile of Mac Allister, should I say, it actually does work. Now, I've been critical of him, but I've got to say it was a very good performance from him, man. Very good performance. And look, long may it continue. If that continues for Liverpool, then Liverpool have got obviously a very kind of maybe not the player I thought we're getting, but still, if you can keep up these performances, it will be a solid performance. And a purchase from Liverpool as well. And you can start to enter into the conversations of, who's our most important midfielder? As we've seen, Curtis Jones has topped a lot of stats in recent games. And McAllister was able to go and do that in this game. So it was really, really good. And I think that's where we were able to go and win the battle as well, was being able to go and start to dominate control and dominate the ball more so than not. So let me know what you thought of McAllister's, obviously, performances or performance in that game. So it would be really, really obviously good to go and see. I'm going to get into your comments as well now quickly before I get on to obviously what Klopp change or what I feel Klopp change obviously on the tactics board to obviously go and help us get the win. Guys, make sure we are smashing the like, as RJ said as well. Please, please, it does help the channel grow. There's obviously almost 50 people in the building. And if I want 55 likes, I just want 55 likes. It might not even be possible. Give me 55 likes, and from there we can go to 100. Big up to Honesty saying, question, with Mac 10 doing well in the 6 and Endo doing a job, young Stefan doing a job. Young Stefan, what we have seen also can be a very good DM for LFC. I think the dream of Paina, Kimmich are just going to be that, a dream. Yeah, I hear it. I think Stefan Bajcetic is an interesting one. I think he's going to have to go out on loan because I don't think there's enough game time for him. Liverpool are going to need to strengthen in the window if the Thiago was to leave. I don't think they're going to just rely on Stefan Bajcetic. And if you're strengthening in the window, you want to strengthen the first team. And you want to have someone that can compete for the first team role, for a first team position. Stefan, for me, is not going to be able to go and compete. So I think he needs to go on loan. And a loan will be good for him. I think he's obviously not fallen out of favour, but this injury hasn't come at a good time because I think it was a great period and a great period for him to be able to establish himself as one of those rotational or main midfielders in midfield. We've seen it happen with Konza. We're seeing Bradley obviously get a chance now with the injury to Trent. He's just obviously been very, very unfortunate. Is he going to be able to go and get back to that level? Hopefully. So a lot of growing pains. I think he needs to go and get a loan, though. I think he needs to go and get a loan. Keeper level saying Mac will be crap playing as an 8 for us. I believe so as well. I believe so as well because I agree. He doesn't have the legs for box to box. Plus, he gasses out at around 65 minutes. His face looks like he's going to turn into a tomato. That's very, very true. Big up to Anfield Road End saying, yo, big up JJ and everyone else in the cup. Big up to yourself. We've got Angel saying GTV, he was good against Newcastle and scored at Arsenal. Yesterday he wasn't good, but I'm not selling him yet. We've got GTVs here saying, I know I was messing. I think we become premature after one game when we should give them a good amount of games to judge players. Keeper Love saying, JJ, you don't rate McAllister, do you? He's not my favourite player. John saying, in that case, Jerry, give Mac a time to adjust as a DM because from what I remember, Genie as an 8 was never was great at the start and he was more of an advanced midfielder / forward. I mean, we have to give him time 100%, but it's whether people want to go and give him time. Brooks LFC saying, I'm sure Mac 10 was a box-to-box at Brighton. Brighton play very, very differently. They don't play as direct and as end-to-end, in my opinion. Big up to Roach Reese saying he was great yesterday. Would love to see him get a bit better with tackling. He makes a meal of it, but no, that was excellent yesterday. And I'm that biggest man's hater. Yeah, so I'm the same. I'm the same, man. Maka was aggressive and he passed well. Good performance. Yeah, it was good from him, man. Very, very good. Big up to Garrett saying JJ Starwin has the same stats as Henry in the Invincible season. No, he doesn't. Gary, no. He's got 10 goals and assists, yes, in all competitions. Not 10 goals and assists in the Prem. Like, Darwin has not got the same stats as Henry. I disagree. And even if you can prove it to me, I still disagree with it. I think it's fake news. Fake news, Gary. Fake news. No fake news on this channel. That's obviously disgusting. Obviously, thing there. Panel saying McAllister has no pace whatsoever. No, he doesn't, but that's why he's got to read the game a bit better. But look, without further ado, I'm going to get into it now. The tactics, the board's coming out. The board is coming out. And we are going to get into it. All right, cool. Let me... All right. Let me zoom in. Uh-oh. All right, cool. All right, can you guys see? I think you guys should be able to go and see. So, Liverpool, of course, started off like this in this formation here. Let's make it a bit wider. Put Neto back there. Becker in goal. Cool. So Liverpool started off like this. Of course, we had obviously Alisson, Becker in goal. Virgil van Dijk, Konate, Bradley at right back. Joe Gomez obviously here at left back. In the sixth, we had obviously Mac Allister, Jones playing to the left, and Elliott playing on that right-hand side. We had Diaz on the right, Jota playing as a focal point up front, and Nunes playing off the left. Now, this was really, 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 really interesting. And I think this is the problem that we got into. So, what I felt happened with obviously Bournemouth and what Bournemouth were doing is when we were in possession, they'd go very much to a back five. They'd really get to a back five. Private would drop in. You'd have Jones there. Christie comes in. It'll be Sinistera here or so. And you'd have Solanke on this side as well. What was happening is we're playing the ball into Nunes, trying to use the space in behind when there was space. Nunes couldn't get round the side of Aarons. He couldn't come inside. And if he tried to turn out wide, Jones here was getting the ball, but only able to go and play backwards. We had Gomez quite high up. Obviously, on the ball, we're obviously in these situations like this. Mac Allister here. We had Jones here, trying to hold width. Gomez would come here. We'd have Virgil, Konate, and Bradley will play more of that right back. But you can see here, there's not a lot of space for Nunes to get around, for Jota to get around. Jones as well, for him to be able to obviously to go in advance in the situations. We were really, really, really deep. And it meant that we kept giving the ball away and it looked as though it was a dead rubber. Every time Nunes got the ball, he couldn't beat his man on the outside. He couldn't hold up the ball because he was getting pressed by Zabiani if it was going in the air or Aarons was onto him. Jones couldn't make overlapping runs because he also had to get and make sure he recycled the ball. And Nunes needs space in behind. Nunes isn't going to come inside like a Mane, like a Diaz. He's not going to do this very often. He wants to go and do this and make these runs here. So it meant that anytime we played on the left, we had this situation. If we played on the right-hand side, the problem we had in that first half is the guys are there. Elliott would come here. Elliott wouldn't go and hold width because Bradley wouldn't invert. So Elliott stays in that kind of normal right-hand side. We've got Bradley trying to make runs in behind. They did the same thing where they went to a back five. Diaz is now in these areas. You have Jota here. You have Nunes coming across here, but it makes it easy for Zabiani because he's got someone here. Jones has to then come this side to cover. We've got Gomez that comes this side. And at times we're playing like this. Now, it makes it very, very difficult because Bradley had no space to run in behind to. Diaz is obviously also right-footed. So Diaz coming inside wasn't as effective because there's not a lot of space to run into. He needs to have space if he's going to come in on his weak side. There isn't a lot of space. So he's trying to go and obviously run down the outside. Jota's obviously trying to pick up these runs whilst dropping in as well. But everything was in front of us. There was no space to obviously get into. And when they went to a back five, I think they caused us a lot of problems. Now, albeit we weren't great on the ball, we didn't really dictate play as well as we could have done. But it was a good setup for Bournemouth. Now, what we did, of course, in that second half, and it kind of allowed us to go and do this, is remember what I spoke about. Joe Gomez here was in this position, and Bradley was going out wide, but relatively stayed in this position as well. What we did in the second half, which was really, really interesting, obviously, to go and see, if I just make some space and spread this Bournemouth team out a bit. Christie, Sinistera, Cook, Aarons, here, Zabiani, Mepham, Tavernier, there, Mac Allister, Jota, Jones, and Elliott. And yeah, okay. So what we did at halftime is recognizing that we couldn't really do this. A couple of times, there was space in here because these two would be occupied with Elliott. So we had that long distance shot from Mac Allister where he smashed the ball and it kind of just missed the post. That obviously came from. So let's put the ball in there. That long shot from Mac Allister that just missed. That, of course, was obviously causing us a lot of problems. Well, caused Bournemouth a lot of problems. However, he doesn't have a lot of legs to run into, and he isn't that dangerous from those positions. And we could close that down and really narrow up. So what we did in the second half, which was really interesting to go and see, is Jones a lot of the time was in this position and it almost looked like a double pivot. We were getting it here and we were trying to keep the ball, playing here. Jones would pop it off to Virgil, get it back, pop it off Jones. You look for Nunes. Nunes will be like try and make a run here to show for space. We pop it into him. He's around 3 players now because Joe Gomez might be here supporting. He can't do anything with it. We lose the ball and then we get caught on a counter attack. On this side, Sinisterra, of course, really taking Bradley for a ride in that first half. Tavernier really supporting as well because he is a winger, so he does have a bit more quality. And Solanke obviously trying to pull onto Virgil, waiting for those balls into the box. You had Clive making these runs across into the box as well. What we were able to obviously go and do is play Nunes down, right, but down the middle, put Diaz back on the left and put Jota on the right. Now, what we saw from obviously Diaz, of course, he can make the runs off the ball, but it's not in the same way that, you know, Salah does it. Now, Jota is the one forward in our team that has the intelligence off the ball. That's very similar to Salah. He doesn't need the ball to be effective. You know, we've spoken about Saka and the fact that Saka, without the ball, is very ineffective. If you stop the ball getting into Saka, you can't really do anything because his runs off the ball aren't that fantastic. Jota is known for his movement, very similar to Salah in terms of the positions he will pick up. Not the dribbler, not this, but he's a finisher. Means that he doesn't need to go and get a lot of touches on the ball. Diaz was able to go and then obviously cut inside. Now, we've spoken about obviously the relationship between Diaz and Nunes and how they could get in each other's way. Nunes then could obviously start in these situations, but really start to go on the outside, on the inside of these players. But he can start central, which meant you can come into these situations. Gomez, what he didn't do, and this is where we lacked, not having Trent to do this, meant that a lot of the time we were losing the midfield battle because Clive and Tavernier would come really narrow. So a lot of the time when we had the midfielders coming in, it hit earlier, it was a 4-on-3 a lot of the time when they were breaking. It was a 4-on-3 and this caused a lot of problems. The midfield of Clive, Cook, Christie and Tavernier would almost at times create a box where it would be like this or like that, which meant that our 3 were really getting picked off. What we really saw, and which was great, and that we've done tactically, and it was, of course, moving Nunes to centre, moving Jota to the right, and Diaz on the left, is we brought Gomez into the midfield. Now, when we brought Gomez into the midfield, it then allowed us to go, and really, he started to invert. It meant we went more so back to what we used to go and do. So we'd still tried to play down this left-hand side. We had Jones coming in here. Gomez would come more infield now. We'd have Mac Allister can get across. We've now got Elliott in the situation. And then Gravenberch obviously came in. This is where we're able to now start to go and exploit. It means that Jones now, with Gomez coming in, can now start to get further forwards. Nunes can start to make those runs in behind, whereas before he had to come into feet when he was out wide. He's now making the runs in between Zabbiani and Mepham. Which centre-backs picks him up? Aaron's is supposed to be with Diaz, right? There's Zabbiani go with Nunes and leave this hole for Jones to come into. That's what happens, isn't it? He beats Cook on the press. We play very quickly. A long ball straight into Jones. Jones controls Jota. What do we speak about the runs? The out-to-in runs. Starts out wide, tends to go that way, comes in that way. Mepham tries to close in this angle because he thinks he's got Jones. That pass is played. Nunes stays on side. Goal. And that was obviously that first phase of play, and that's what we're able to go and do. But that was the real, for me, the real key tactical change that we're obviously able to go and do, because it enabled us to go and get that first goal. And once that first goal came, it then allowed more space to be in the team, because then Bournemouth were trying to chase the game. You had Jones that obviously could get into more space. Gomez now was getting on the ball. We had Diaz that had more space to obviously run into from this situation as well. Jota again trying to get the ball, and now Bradley is able to get much higher because Elliott or Gravenberch can come across. We now get higher as a team. Diaz can really stretch, and now as time goes on, this starts to happen. And when that starts to happen, this is where Liverpool start to go and overload. So Liverpool would have Elliott that's coming in here. Jota would start off, obviously, or will come inside here. We'd have Jones that will pop up in this situation. Gomez will come really narrow. We have Diaz in this situation as well. Virgil watching Solanke here. You've got Konate on this side. Watching Clive here, we've got Solanke here, Konate's up there, Christie's in that situation. So really, really, really starting to press the ball. And then Bradley's able to go and cross the ball into the box, get further forward. Jones able to get further forward. And when we can get players forward, that's when we can be really direct and be really, really forceful going forward, man. So some props to Klopp for that one. And Klopp's got to get a decent, obviously, a rating for that. I think it was a very, very good tactical analysis, very, very good change that enabled Liverpool to go and win. Because at that first half, if I'm being honest, I didn't really see what Liverpool could carry on doing the same way and get a goal. The only outlet we had is that we have more qualities than Bournemouth. So one of our players, a Diaz, whoever, can go and create a bit of magic that can enable us to go and obviously score a goal. So that's what I thought from it, guys. Let me know what you thought, obviously, on that. I think it was really good to go and see. Angel at 68 saying good touches from the subs. Klopp was top yesterday. Yeah, he was really, really good. Really, really good in that situation. We got Angel at 68 saying Gakpo and assist and some nice passes. Gravenberch, Clark, and Beck all done well. At least now I have confidence on our bench can improve the performance. I definitely see. Appreciate it, G-Man. Appreciate it. But yeah, so and obviously when you had Gakpo coming into that, obviously Elliott role, then it obviously Gakpo's picking up those positions, and he's able to go and start to drive at the defense. And when you've got that freedom now, and that team's obviously we're catching them much quicker, and we're being a bit more decisive with our passes. It was good, man. It was good. But GTV saying Klopp was okay, but it was good analysis. Yeah, he was all right. But yeah, man. So definitely really good to see. And look, ultimately, Liverpool in a position now where obviously we're 5 points, obviously clear at the table. We've got Fulham, obviously, this week. So that's going to be really interesting to see what Liverpool can do there. Can we get to the final of the Carabao? I think that has to be a competition that we can win right now. And it's got to be a competition that we can win. If we do, it sets up in a really good precedent, obviously, into the back end of the season. But look, top performance from Liverpool. Good goals from Darwin and Jota. Darwin, obviously, a big, obviously, talking points. Good first goal. Again, off the ball runs. Again, playing down the centre. I think it's an interesting one with Darwin. In certain games, I think you can play on the left. So I think if you're playing against an Arsenal, if you're playing against City, I'd probably want to see Núñez on the left-hand side because he can cause a lot of problems to their wide areas. When we're playing against a team that is starting to drop off a bit and that are playing a bit more compact with a back five, that are a bit more stacked, you need to play him up front because you need a bit more nuance in those wide areas. And I think when he was playing out there, he looked a bit null and void until we went into the central areas. So, yeah, definitely for me. Honestly saying, yeah, Klopp said it. We were so static first half, especially front line. Yeah, they were because Núñez couldn't do anything else. Like, Núñez isn't going to do anything else. So you have to go and do that. Jota's obviously trying to link the play. And then you've got Diaz. Obviously he's right-footed playing on the right. So he's going to stay more towards the right. And if he's coming inside on the left, it's only because there's space. If there's no space, obviously we're in a problem. But yeah, man, really obviously good performance. And I'm happy, obviously, Liverpool are top, so that we can't really complain too tough at all. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you're watching this on the replay, what you thought, obviously, of Liverpool's tactical, obviously, setup in that second half. Do you think it was as impressive as I thought, or do you think it was a bit more like G, where he's just like, yeah, Klopp was all right. Yeah, I mean, Megatron's in the building and that. But yeah, 100%, obviously, listen, we've got to keep it up. And we've proven that, listen, our bench is really good. Obviously, Jota, fantastic finishes again. Jota proving, the discussion we've got right now is Jota the best finisher Liverpool have ever gone and seen? Look, a bit premature for me. I think people are forgetting Sturridge. I think people are forgetting Fowler. I think people are forgetting Owen. Sturridge, like in particular in the modern era, that guy's a finisher. Like from any angle. Let's not forget. I remember the goal that really stands out to me is when we were in the black kit. I forgot who he faced, but the ball looked like it was going to go out, and he was in line with the goal, and he kept it up, flicked it up, cut inside, chopped in, and still smashed it in. Yeah, I need to go and see that. And I'm not saying Jota can't do it. Jota is a finisher, top, but he's not the best finisher Liverpool I've ever seen. I think Carragher got a bit excited and wanted to create a bit of a narrative, and that's what I think now, man. But yeah, look, long may it continue, man. Long may it continue. This narrative continue. I think as Liverpool fans as well, look, we need to just keep it humble and remember that no matter what happens, we're still ahead of schedule for what's happening with Liverpool. So anything now for Liverpool is a bonus. So getting upset, getting frustrated at this, at that, we weren't able to go and do this. Remember, man, I didn't think Liverpool would be in this situation at all. A lot of us didn't. So we just got to obviously just ride it out and see what's going on, man. See what's going on now. Honestly saying Jota finishing looks more slick compared to Mo, because it is slicker. Like, he can connect with the ball better. He can finish it, like, but he doesn't get into the. I don't know. Does he have the same amount of chances as Jota? That's another question as well as a Salah. But then Salah obviously gets into those positions and creates chances. So interesting to see. But look, people, man, it's been the Tactics Board. Thank you so much for obviously everyone tuning in, guys. There's still over 40 people that's been rocking with me, so I really, really appreciate it. I really took the time to obviously get the tactics and the analysis down. Guys, make sure we are smashing the like on the video, please. Please smash the like. If you're new to the channel, make sure subscribing to the channel as well. Head over to the pitch as well. The pitch, obviously, links in the description. Please, a lot of content coming from obviously the pitch, myself and G as well soon. So they're on our necks right now in terms of getting us to do a lot of content. So make sure that you're heading over there. It's going to be a really, really good, high quality content as well. So if you're looking for stuff that's generic, more football oriented as well, so make sure you're heading over there. Make sure you're heading over, of course, over to GTV as well. And I appreciate obviously everyone tuning in. We've got Pan of Scouts, RJ as well in the building as well. Big up to yourself, and I appreciate obviously you guys working with me. It's been the Jerry James Show. Thank you so much. Stay tuned, as tomorrow I will be on not the OC review, what is it called? Counter Views with Judge Mo. So I'll be on Counter Views at 1 p.m. with Judge Mo, as always, every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Make sure you're there as well. And then obviously we'll be doing the preview for the Fulham game as well. So stay tuned for that one. But listen, until next time, people, thank you so much for rocking with us. It's the Jerry James Show, and we are out. Take it easy.